Hi there, and welcome to the third in my 5 best series or lists. It was really fun doing the first 2, but especially with the coins, it was incredibly hard to pick 5 coins out of all the periods of coins that I've found over the years. Oh dear, contact. Up. Sorry about that. Take 2, click. Especially the coins, it was incredibly hard to pick 5 coins out of all the periods of coins that we find. So I've been fortunate enough to have found loads of Roman coins over the years. So we're going to do 2 more best of. Firstly, Roman bronzes, and then I'll do 1 of Roman silvers. Sadly, I have not found enough Roman gold to do a 5 best of. I haven't found any Roman gold. One day. And I'll try not to get too historical. It's mostly about the coin, but the historical side of it obviously does play a big part, as you'll see. Right, number 5. Then they're in no particular order, vague order, but I like them all equally. This is a really lovely ass, AS, the name of the coin itself, of the Emperor Domitian. An as was basically the sort of one of the lower denominations of the age. 2.5 asses was 1 sestertius, which is a much bigger coin. And then you got the silver ones after that. The reason I like this so much is it was the first coin I ever found, first Roman coin I ever found. And I just got so excited. I thought all the Roman coins we found were going to be like this. Little did I know, crikey. Little did I know, most of the Roman coins we find are like that. That is a little box, one little box of what I call Roman coins I don't want to throw away, but probably aren't good enough to go in a cabinet. I mean, that's basically what most of them do look like. And don't worry too much about the way I'm treating these. They are pretty nondescript, most of them. Sometimes I look through them and find a really nice one again, and I look after it a bit more. But anyway, it's Domitian, and I got even more excited because I could read very early on in it the letters C-A-E-S. And 10, 11 years ago, I thought, my God, I found a coin of Emperor, of Julius Caesar. Little did I know that Caesar was a common title after Caesar, and it was on most of the coins, after that. And again, I'm not going to get bogged down in the history of it all. But that's half the point of the hobby, which I always keep saying, and most of you realise. The amount of history you learn. I honestly thought this was Julius Caesar. It said Caesar on it. Of course it's not. But by finding Roman coins and by finding things like this, you read up and learn about it. Before you know it, you become more and more expert. Anyway, back to this one. It's Domitian. I have noted that a lot of the Domitian coins, he's got a very long neck, and this is no different. So if you find a bronze coin with a very long neck, you can probably bet that it's going to be a Domitian if you can't get a closer ID from the legend. The legend on this is really good. It says Imp sees Dom, Org, Germanicus, Cos, la-di-da, la-di-da. He loved banging on about himself, and the legend of these coins is a way of doing so. You put in all your titles and all the things you've done and all the achievements that you've achieved. In this case, the Germ stands for his wars against the Germans, or the tribes in that area, of which I think he was quite successful. In fact, he was quite successful as a military leader. The army liked him. The Senate did not like him. The aristocracy did not like him. He was eventually assassinated by the Senate. They just needed to get rid of him. He was the last of the Flavian dynasty after his father Vespasian and his brother Titus, and was the least popular. He had a long rule, 81 to 96 AD, and the reverse of this features the goddess Juno as Moneta, which is the origin of our word money. I can't remember quite what that actually represents, apart from money, obviously, but probably sort of well-being financially, etc., etc. It's just a cracking little coin. I absolutely love it. The portrait's good. It's got a lovely feel to it, and it was the first one I found. So that's number 5. Number 4. Again, I found this quite early on. It's Allectus. Now, part of the reason that I chose this coin, even though that it's in lovely condition and it's got lovely flouncy Laetitia on the back, sort of doing all that with her hands, holding her scales and stuff like that. is that not only is it in really good condition, and it's a lovely portrait, and it's really sharp and crisp, but again, researching this, or just looking Allectus up, led me to learn about a period of English history I had no idea about. It's absolutely fascinating. Not a massive amount is known about him, but, and here I bring in another couple of coins of Carausius. Now, they're all pretty interlinked. Not only are they very similar in the way they've been struck and the reverses, but there's a reason for that. Carausius basically took over, decided in, I think it was 286, or thereabouts, 289, something like that, that he wanted control of northern France and Britain, and basically overtook it. They said, that's it, that's me, I'm now emperor of this part of the Roman Empire, and you can do what you like with the rest, even though I'm on a par with you. There are coins of his which put him next to the emperor of the day. I can't remember who that was, you'll have to look all this up. I don't sort of make copious notes on this sort of stuff, it's just sort of really coming out of the top of my head. I'm thinking out loud, rather. Anyway, the early coins of Carausius, he's very bull-headed and thick-set, and I think he wanted to produce a rather thuggish impression that he was, tough and in charge. To cut a story short, in, I think it was 293, or thereabouts, Allectus, his financial minister, decided that he wanted to have a go, and he assassinated Carausius and took the main job. And this is a coin of his. And it was only in about 3 or 4 years later that Rome got fed up with this, and they sent Constantius Chlorus, who was the father of Constantine the Great, to basically go and take over northern Gaul again, and then move into southern Britain, and basically get control of that back to the empire, which he did. And Allectus was killed by Constantius Chlorus, his army, in 296, I think it was, near Silchester, it's believed. But anyway, the point is, the history is fantastic, and something I knew nothing about, and not an awful lot more is known about Allectus, funnily enough. We don't know masses about him. But it's just fascinating to me to find a coin like this, look him up, and learn a period of, a decade of English history, which I had no idea about. Really exciting. Anyhow, it's Allectus on one side, flouncy Laetitia on the other side, a really lovely, well-struck coin, and one I really like holding, and one I really like looking at. Ooh, number 3. One of the girls. I love finding the girls, he says. Mainly because they're just not as common. I mean, you just don't get as many empresses or Augustas as you do the blokes. But this one's a particularly good one because she's just really rather beautiful and just beautifully struck, and the detail on it is wonderful. When I first found it, I looked at the reverse and it looked like there's a nun on it. And I thought, that can't be right. You don't get nuns in Roman times. Even though the time this coin was struck, Rome was becoming, or the Roman Empire was becoming quite Christian, because it was struck in 324, and it's of Fausta. And she was quite cool and rather beautiful by the looks of it. She was the second wife of Constantine the Great. He was made rather to marry her for political reasons, to strengthen up the tetrarchy. Again, I'm not going to get you bogged down in all the history of it, but do look it up, it's good reading. His first wife, Minervina, who was the mother of his son Crispus, was booted aside, and he was made, well, I think he liked being married to her. He certainly respected her a lot until the end, and I'll come to that in a minute. This was probably minted in about 324, the year she was lifted up to the rank of Augusta. And it shows her on one side, and her as the goddess Salus, holding her 2 sons, Constantius and Constantine II, in her arms. Both these sons at the time had become Caesars themselves, and this coin was basically to symbolise and to celebrate the fact that she'd become Augusta and her sons were both Caesars. She met a pretty untimely end. I think only about 3 or 4 years later, she was assassinated. She was executed, rather, by Constantine, and it's a bit murky, the history surrounding why he did that. It's generally believed that he thought that she was having she was having an affair with Constantine's son Crispus from his first marriage to Minervina, and he had them both killed. He definitely had them both killed. We're not exactly sure of the reasons, but that's what they think. So having been the sort of first lady when this coin was produced, she met a pretty horrible end. Number 3, Fausta. Ooh, number 2. The 2 coins are the same coin. I absolutely love these coins. They're just so iconic of Roman coins, and they are Roman commemoratives from the year probably about 330 AD. Both these are absolutely in beautiful condition. They have the goddess Roma on one side, and they have the she-wolf suckling the twins Romulus and Remus on the other side, which is the sort of main foundation myth of the city of Rome. And the reason these coins, both by the way minted in London, PLC we can see, even though I found them hundreds of miles apart, they both minted in London. They were made to commemorate the fact that even though the centre of the empire had moved from Rome to Constantinople, that Rome was considered still of great importance, and Constantine wanted the Romans to know that he had not forgotten their city and the city was of great importance. Hence these coins were produced. You've got a wonderful image of Roma on the other side in her helmet. She's facing that way, rather, hang on. She's facing that way, to the left. Now, it's not to say that all emperors faced the other way, but the majority of coins you find, you'll notice that the emperor faces to the right. If you're finding small coins with someone facing the other way to the left, then you could probably bet that it's a commemorative coin. Either one of these ones or the Constantinople coins of the same era, which have the goddess Constantinopolis, I presume, on one side instead of Roma. And on the other side, you've got, I think it's Winged Victory or some goddess or other. Looks like she's punting a boat or something like that. Oh, Taz, kill her again. Go on down. God, you're all wet, Tasky. Anyway, I just absolutely love these coins. They are so tactile. They're in such good condition that you couldn't get a more iconic coin of ancient Rome if you tried. You've got the foundation myth on one side and Rome herself on the other. What more could you ask for? I absolutely love them. Number 1. This is my favourite Roman bronze coin, and mainly because it is in just such good condition. It's of Constantine the Great. If you don't know anything about Constantine the Great, then do look him up. I mean, it's a fascinating period of Roman history when he shifted the whole nucleus of the empire from Rome all the way over to what was Byzantium, which he renamed Constantinopolis after himself. I think it was 330, same year that these little coins were produced in order to commemorate the fact that Rome was still important. It's just the most beautiful coin. It's a Follis. And these basically, I believe, took over, along with siliquas, the silver denarius. They couldn't keep making coins in solid silver, even though the denarius had debased greatly over the years. The Follis was supposed to contain silver, but I think more often than not, it was just a silver wash over the actual copper or bronze coin itself. And in this example, you can see where the silvering would have been. I mean, it's basically still quite silver all round. But the main reason I love it so much is it's just in such good condition. After 1700 years, it looks like it was made yesterday. The legend on both sides, Constantine on one side and his portrait, are just so mint and crisp. And on the other side, it's even better. I think it's PTR. I think the mint is Trier, I think. But it shows the god Mars with his spear and shield, and it just looks like it was made yesterday. I mean, it's just the most wonderful coin. I just love finding things that have just so much age to them but are in such good condition. So not only is it a fascinating period of Roman history, it's just a brilliant coin. Absolutely brilliant, in mint condition. And I don't really have much more to say on it apart from that. So, number 1, Constantine the Great, Mars reverse. So, if you're still with me, thank you very much for listening to all that, and please look out for 5 best Roman silver coins, which will be coming out soon. And see you soon. Thank you. Bye.